Here's a presentation on squad mechanics. This presentation is authored by Brett of the Sierra-Zulu community. It is narrated by Hebyong Dance. Anytime this presentation refers to the first person using I or we, it is referring to Sierra-Zulu and Brett. In our previous slides, we talked about the middle fight, and we limited the middle to 5 squads and 28 players that we treated as large rectangles that moved around our model. We all know this is nearly a criminal oversimplification of the reality of squad. Real squad gameplay is much more complicated due to many variables that can impact gameplay. Attempting to define all of the variables and how to respond to each situation makes guides long and tedious. This squad's mechanics section will attempt to define the box that squads should operate in. We will focus on behaviors that increase teamwork amongst players over increasing individual skill. Learning these skills can greatly increase a squad's effectiveness, and with a little practice, it can become second nature. As we previously alluded to earlier, this section will be more complicated because in a squad is where theory meets in-game application. Previously, we used the game of checkers as an example. Today, we'll compare this guide to chess. It is common knowledge that chess is a much more complicated game than checkers, despite both being played on an 8x8 board and an equal number of pieces on the board. Chess has a lot more strategy and tactics than checkers due to the many different pieces, each with their own unique attributes in addition to different win conditions. In chess, the terminology of a book move refers to a commonly accepted opening series of moves. For example, in chess, it is commonly accepted to move knights and bishops out to influence the board and to protect your king by castling with a rook. These few slides represent book moves of squad. These concepts discussed in these slides are meant to improve individual player results by improving teamwork and in-game knowledge. Most of the slides in this deck are meant to be summaries and just meant to be brief overviews of the concepts. These concepts here are in no way meant to be all-inclusive or the only source of knowledge players should look at. Map control squads, kit selection. So we will start with the kits that the frontline and flex squads should have during the start of the game. Due to the high number of vehicles at the start of a game, the team focuses on AT kits. Later in the game, it may be beneficial to have your lats switch to kits that are better suited for the goal or purpose of your squad. But players must understand that their goal and purpose is dynamic. These players are known as the flex. They should be skilled at using at least the lat and GL kit. They should also have experience playing as a medic or rifleman. Rally up time and ammo management. Effective management of ammo is one of the most overlooked aspects of an individual squad. Having a rally down for squad members to spawn at and another rally ready to place is always the #1 priority for the squad. Looking at our 6-man squads, you will notice that there is a dedicated rifleman. The rifleman's job is to make sure that the SL has a pocket rally, the lat or hat has a rocket, and the medic has bandages. If the rifleman has less than 50 ammo and the squad leader does not have a pocket rally, the rifleman must get more ammo. Kits and roles in a map control squad. It is important that players understand that their diversity of kit and role is important. First, they must understand the nature of firefights or contact with the enemy in the game. The goal of any contact should be stopping the enemy from doing something they are actively trying to do, or stop them from stopping you. Let's first look at our roles. The most obvious role is that of a shooter. This is the person actively fighting an enemy. Think of this as a 1v1 fight between the shooter and the enemy. Spending time increasing your shooter's skills is often a focus of many, but what is more overlooked are the roles that other players in the squad should be playing. This guide won't cover how to be a better shooter. Instead, we will assume that both players are equal in skill, and thus you have a 50-50 chance of winning the fight. Winning is where you kill the enemy, and they don't kill you. The pocket player is most often a pocket medic that plays close to the shooter, but the pocket could also be a rifleman playing close to the squad leader. This player's job is to make sure that the shooter doesn't get flanked, and in case the shooter goes down, they kill the enemy and conduct a revive if they are a medic. If they are not the medic, they should move the down player to a position where they can safely be revived. The sentry is the player that plays further away from the shooter pocket players. This player can go for a flank or watch a long angle that is important for the squad to hold. Most often, their job is to engage the enemy at range or defend a specific location, such as a radio from the enemy. The roles of shooter, pocket, or sentry can be filled by any player in a map control squad. However, players must all play their kit accordingly. Each kit has a specific role to play in the squad. Playing medic could be a guide entirely of its own, so it will not be covered here, besides get a lot of revives and refrags. For the grenade launcher and LAT, players should be able to effectively hit targets at ranges of 100 to 150 meters, and for riflemen, to be able to throw frags into enclosed spaces at 30 meters. Alright, using the map in voice comms. Your map is an incredible feature of the game of Squad. It will show you all friendly players, friendly player kits, friendly rallies, friendly habs, and all friendly vehicles. It will also show you any marks placed by fireteam leaders or squad leaders. In our hypothetical team setup, 26 infantry players can place marks on the map. Players looking at their map are more knowledgeable about the game and are more likely to make better decisions. Advanced teams can coordinate complicated tactics in-game by only looking at the map and using local chat. In-game, use the default key M to bring up your map, and then press N to zoom in on the smallest version of the map, and you should be able to look at this map quickly to discern key information. Take a moment to familiarize yourself with the scale of the map. Here it is 330 by 330 meters. Your squad menu will also communicate important information to you by telling you who is within 1.5 white grid squares of you or in the blue circle. Your squad's ability to use the map, squad menu, and local chat to effectively coordinate will greatly increase your squad's effectiveness. Infantry movement. Let's take a brief look at 5 basic concepts we have introduced here. To continue with our chess book play example, most opening book players have several different types of moves that strengthen them for later in the game. If everyone in your squad understood what reset, hold, buffer, take ground, and push meant, your squad would be more effective. Let's review our in-game examples in more detail so we can focus on the practical application. If you are down, reset rally. This is something most squad leaders have said. This is the first one because it is the most basic. The rally is the center point of every map control infantry squad, especially frontline squads. Rallies should be strategically located in tactically sound positions to be effective at supporting your squad. Hold this building. This is something you'll hear from squad leaders or experienced players in-game. Most often, this is used to tell players to hold on an enemy radio that is bleeding. Holding can also be used to designate players to stay in good positions with excellent sightlines. Buffer, rally, radio, or medic. This is not as well known, but it's an important concept. The idea behind buffering an object is that nearby players create a secure space around said objective. This could be done when your friendly medic has been downed or when a friendly rally is about to be burnt. Normally, this is very geographically limited to 30 to 90 meters. Take ground west. This is used by squad leaders in more organized settings. A call like this tells the squad to move west to take control of terrain to the west. This is often called when multiple squads are trying to buffer a hab. In our example, Squad 1 could buffer west and Squad 2 could buffer east. Each squad would hear take ground. The objective is to create enough space to allow a fob and 2 rallies to be up. Push enemy hab. Players are most familiar with the concept of pushing an enemy hab to get it on proxy. Pushing is an important concept but is often confused with other more advanced concepts not covered here. If you are considering pushing a hab, you need to push exactly 2 people within 30 meters of the hab to start proxying. Once you have proxy, there is no reason to push anymore. The concept of a push is to work together to take a risk to get one player into an advantageous position against the enemies. The squad then exploits this to take more ground. Communication. Good effective communication is incredibly important for any set of players. Improving communication at any level within the team will result in improving outcomes for your team. One of the most important and often overlooked chats is local chat. If you recall in slide 3, we showed 3 players with teal circles denoting 50-meter distance. This shows the importance that local chat will play for all of the map control squads. For local chat, use the basic 3 Ds of communication as an outline. Some examples of this format used in game could be enemy contact 25 meters west, enemy behind the blue house east, enemy armor northwest 200 meters, etc. These are only some of the most basic and obvious callouts for local chat. It is also important to call out your kills in local chat. Many teams do this, and each with their own unique format. Making these callouts in local chat will allow the players near you to help win the important gunfight. If you call out where you know the enemy is, you might have a friendly nearby that could shoot him in the back. Squad chat is much more complicated. However, our above example shows 2 important callouts to make regarding radios in local chat. These callouts should be also made in squad chat, however, following a different format of accurate, brief, and clear. What will be called out in squad chat will vary from team to team or even squad to squad within the same team. Calling out radio status in squad chat is always a constant for all squads. Using the simple ABC format leads to some of these callouts. Enemy radio bleeding J8. Friendly hab secure H9. Enemy north of rally.